Namaskar, dear devotees and friends. Today Sunday we'll be discussing about the Yoga Vasistha, and very interesting topic today about the world. So let us begin with this stotra. Dikaladi anavachinna ananta chinmatra murtaye Swanubhuti ekamanaya namah shantaya tejasi. I salute the Supreme Brahman, who is beyond all qualities, tranquil, beyond the limitations of the directions, space, time or objects, who alone is the embodiment of infinite consciousness, and who is to be known only through the proof of one's own experience. This stotra every time reminds us this: whatever we see in this world, and with so many varieties, it is only one. Now that is exactly what the Yoga Vasistha will be discussing today. The last Sunday we concluded by saying that mind is responsible for our bondage and our liberation. Mano eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshaya. The mind is the cause of bondage and mind is the cause of liberation. What is the cause of bondage? Illusion. The mind is deluded, and that is the reason it creates so many problems, and we find that we are bound. I was talking with the person, and she was telling that nobody likes me. I told, how do you know it? No, they are behaving like this, they are behaving like that. So for a long time I discussed with her, and then I told, I don't think it is like this. So why you are interpreting the act of love as an act of hatred? For me, they are talking with you, asking you to do like this or to behave like, because they are concerned about you. Not that they are going to control you, not that they are going to punish you. When she was telling the experiences, I felt that it is all positive. But for her, it is all negative, and she goes on crying for that. And she bitterly started crying, no, you don't know, nobody likes me. How to bring her out of that? Of course, the psychiatrists, they talk to them, they have different type of examinations. But this is if you go to any hospital, there's a lot of people going and consulting with this type of problems. I am thinking that it's behaving like this, and I cannot stand like that. I am suffering. So who is suffering? Me. Why? Because I am thinking like this. And who is the thinking? My mind. Mano eva manushyanam karanam baddha. Baddha means bound. And this is my reason. I am thinking in this way. So friends, this is the very practical. If we look at our own everyday experience, we will understand this, the scripture, how correct they are, how perfect they are. Long back when I was in Andaman, I can remember in those days, one lady, she was preparing some food, maybe reading from some book, and she'll be preparing some new dishes, and she'll be very respectfully inviting me, Swamiji, I have prepared this new dish, will you please come, I like to share this. So her husband and the children and other friends, I will also go. But a neighbor, her neighbor, she was not liking it that I am visiting her, I am not visiting to them. And she once called me and told, do you know what she says? Then what? That she says, oh, Swamiji eats everything that I give. That means that she wanted to mean that I'm a glutton, I eat everything. I told, is it? She says like that? That is great. Because mothers, they always like that their cooking is appreciated by the others, those who are eating. Maybe that she is telling like that. I took that positively, though the lady I could feel that's trying to create problem, but there's nothing. So that is the way. If we try to deal everyday life, we are always the gainer. Why should we lose? We should gain. And sometimes if we are not capable to convince the person, or it is unbearable, better to avoid. By that way, we have to keep our mind free from all those, because it is our life. At present, we are thinking that I am surviving and I am Swami Shatmananda and this is my life. These are my people who are appreciating me or criticizing me. So these are all whole world. So I and my world, you and your world. So this is the way we are creating our world. And here in this world, I have to survive happily. This is one stand. And we will go to another where Yoga Vasistha will take us to a very higher stand, but that is a real difficult place. So mano eva manushyanam karanam baddha mokshaya. So we are bound, and when we are bound, we suffer. We are bound for some objects, different type of objects that before us, and we try to grab that, and when we can't do that, then we suffer. We think that it should be like this, it should be like that, it is not happening, so we suffer. So friends, if we analyze, we will find that all those problems that creating really suffering for us is nothing but our own creation, because I am thinking in that way. So suppose something I tried but I could not achieve, I was not successful, and if I think, well, this was not meant for me, that's okay. Maybe something else is waiting for me, I will try that. So we have to understand Naishkarma Siddhi, they give a beautiful story. And the story, the name is the father of Soma Sharma. The father of Soma Sharma. You have to remember the name of the story, otherwise you won't get the idea. Now, what is it that we are creating our own world through our imagination, and sometimes we are happy and sometimes we are not. So suffering because of the cause. The cause is we are imagining, building on the castles in the air. So that is the reason. Here the story says like that. It was the time of a famine. It goes in the Yoga Vasistha. We are studying Vasistha Sara, Yoga Vasistha Sara, the chosen, the best philosophical, the quotes that we have taken, that we mainly as reading. But sometimes we go back to the original book where a lot of stories are there. This Rishi Vasistha is telling those stories, and it is 32,000 slokas are there actually in the book, and here it is nothing, few. So they have chosen some of the philosophical quotes, and this is the book Swami Jireshananda ji wrote, and that is a translation. But here I am going to the original book where the Vasistha is telling the stories. Why? And he is telling, Vasistha, Rishi Vasistha is telling to the Rama, O Rama, you should accept these stories, listen to these stories. They are very interesting. You know why? The stories that gives the explanation of the truth. Now what is the truth? I build my castle in the air, and obviously it will break, and then I will suffer. So who is suffering? Me. Why? I created it. So this story goes like this. There was a Brahmin young boy, and he was highly ambitious. but very poor. And it was a famine time, no food anywhere. Somehow he collected a little portion of flour and maybe a pound of that, and he was very happy. Then he sat under a tree and started imagining. As because he was little tired, he went into half sleep condition. He was imagining, now this is a very costly thing that I am holding in my hand. So this I can sell in the market, and with that money I can purchase some cows, and I can develop the cows, and then I raise some of the bulls, and with the help of those bulls I can cultivate the land, and then from that land I can get lot of the grains. I can sell those grains in a high price in the market, and then I can build a beautiful house for me. Then I will marry a beautiful girl, and I will have a son, and the son, the name of the son should be Shoma Sharma. Up to that, all this imagination, he is only having a little flower in his hand, and he is imagining that he has a son, etc., etc. So that is the way it goes. So this is the way it goes. Then what happened? That he is imagining, my wife is not taking proper care of my beloved son, and then I will punish her, the why she is not looking after my son. And to punish that imaginative wife, when he raised his hand, the flower fell, and that there was a wind, and it scattered everywhere, and he started crying, oh, oh, oh. So this is the whole story. And what we learn from the story? Everything that we make imaginary, and that is the reason we suffer. The one lady, she was blaming me that I was not allowing her son to marry. His son used to come to me and say, Swami, I don't like to marry. I like to join in the Ramakrishna order, etc., etc. I told, wait. Because he used to go to different people and all that. I told, finish your job and let us see. But the mother one day came to me and told, said, because of you, my son is not agreeing to marry. I told, are you sure that after his marriage you will be happy? But that is the only, my husband passed away long back. I raised my son, and now I am almost old, and I am a widow, and if I get a son's wife, my family will be so happy. I told, I don't have any objection. I am not saying yes or no to your son, nothing. Only think twice. Think twice before you give to marriage. No. Okay. Her son came and told the Swamiji, what shall I do? I told, you decide. I cannot say. Then afterwards he decided, and I knew that he won't be able to become a monk because he has some weaknesses. I told, it is better that you become a householder. Anyway, he married. And after the marriage, exactly after 2 months, then the same lady came to me and told, oh Swamiji, please tell my son that he should not listen to his wife. Now, because the wife is creating so much a problem every day, every moment, it is my house and I can't say anything. The wife says, from now onwards, this is my family. I should decorate in this way, I should cook in this way, I should invite these people. This is all the story. They are in every household. Now, we imagine that we will be happy, and then we suffer. And when we are suffering, we should not share it with anyone. We should be brave enough to say, this is my fault and I am going to suffer. That we should say like that. So world is like this, you and your world. That is the topic today. You and your world. And if you are imagining the son has married, now they are young couple, let them enjoy the life. They let them go to visit this place, that place, no problem for me. I was all alone and I will be. And the son told that we will keep someone, another lady to help you. That is very good. Then like that, if you could do that, I am talking about that lady, she could be happy. But no, she was thinking the wife, the daughter-in-law will be very like this, imaginative. And now, like the father of the Soma Sharma, he never married. He only imagined that he married, and then he has a son, and he gave the name of the son Soma Sharma, and because of the Soma Sharma, all his dream and his imagination broke, and it was the suffering. Friends, why this? Why this story? The great Rishi Vasistha is telling to us, because this is the way the whole life goes. Hence it is you and your world. Guru Vasistha, to teach this truth, he is telling the second chapter 15 verse, Yatha balasya betalo mrityupajyanta dukkadaha asat eva sat asaram mudhamate jagat. Yatha balasya, as the children, they suffer out of fear of death. Why? Because of imaginary ghost. Oh, something is there, they will imagine and they will be so much afraid, they will cry. The imaginary ghost, yatha balasya betala mrityupajyanta dukkada, as the fear of death, that much suffering. Why? Just imagining that there is a ghost. And they will imagine, and not the only Bala, many people, that they imagine about the ghost and they will suffer. It is really very difficult. So many people, we are just imagining. The Rishi is telling that as the children, they imagine about a ghost and they suffer, and suffer means suffering is almost like the suffering of death. That much pain they suffer. Why? Just imagination. Same way, asat eva sat akaram mudhamate jagat. An ignorant mudhamate, an ignorant person suffer considering this world as real. Considering this world as real. So friends, from here, suddenly he is taking us to a very higher plane. The Rishi wants to say that there is no reality in this jagat, in this world. Though when I am pinching, I feel that the pain when I am pinching myself. I feel hungry. I feel tired. I feel happy seeing my friends. All those emotions are there, but still they say, this Vedantin, the ultimate Vedanta, they say, there is no creation at all. You are unnecessarily imagining. So this is really, really very difficult, and we should be careful when you are studying. We should not mix it up. It's the ultimate truth. Maybe that this moment we won't understand, but doesn't mean it is not true. So that is taking that for we are studying this, we are trying to understand, but this moment it may be very difficult. Sometimes the children, they come, they listen about the God and all that, and they'll be asking questions also. But do you think they are very serious? They really understand? No, because it is beyond their capacity. It may be, some of you may be able to understand, but it may be beyond our capacity to understand. Though we are leaving, this is my family, and I am talking to you, world is going on, everything is going on, still we are discussing that world is not there. Why? The Rishi said, no, it is true, But to understand the truth, we have to develop ourselves. The very first verse every day before studying, when we chant, it says that through your own experience only you can understand. What is the proof of the Brahman? Your own experience. No one can prove it. No one can say anything about it. Whatever may be the example we can quote, but it is only one's own experience. The world is full of misery. Almost all people, they're experiencing it. But the one thing they did, for that they suffer, do you think they'll stop over there? Oh, enough is enough now. No. They will go to do the same thing again. They will repeat, and they will repeat. Why? Because even though they are experiencing the problem, even then they will go on doing the same thing. That is ignorance. And time will come, not that they are going to eternal hell. That conception in the Hinduism, there is no eternal hell. Again they will come up. Again. So there is a story of Yayati in the Mahabharata. This Yayati was a great soul. He was a very powerful king. But he had strong desire to enjoy this world. Then he became very weak because of the old age. Then he started thinking, what? If the God give me the blessings, I can get youth once again in this body. So the God told, okay, you have your sons, your 3-4 sons. Go and ask them. If they like to share their youth with you, it's okay. Then first, second, third, the fourth one, then he said, okay, Father, no problem. You have given me the life, and you want to take that for your own enjoyment. I don't have any object. Take my youth. So he shared his youth. And don't ask why, how, etc. This is the story is like this. He shared that youth, and then this man enjoyed again another, say, 45 years, 40 years. Then he realized, no, desire is still burning. Again the same type of desires are there. To Yajati, he made a statement. Nayatu kamo kamanam upabhoge na shamyati. You can never ever satisfy the thirst of your desire by enjoying the objects. It is impossible. At time one should have to stop and say, enough. I have experienced this, I have experienced this, I have experienced this, and now I know that this has nothing. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he demonstrated this. He was a very wonderful master, very wonderful teacher. He demonstrated, and people, they used to envy the rich people. Why? In those days, say 200 years before the society in India, particularly Calcutta, that was the capital of the undivided India at the time of the Britishers. The rich people, they used to smoke. Most of the people, they used to smoke. So they used to smoke, and they'll be smoking from the hubble bubble that was covered. Hubble bubble was made of either gold or silver, something like that. So costly. And that man with the nice dress, he will be lying down, half lying, and will be smoking a little. And poor people from distance, they used to say, oh, the great joy, if I could have that. Sri Ramakrishna, to demonstrate that it is nothing, he told his disciple, Mathur Babu, who was also a landlord, Mathur, can you please arrange like that? As you people, the rich people, you smoke, half lying down and then smoking. I like to enjoy that. Mathur Babu arranged. Sri Ramakrishna put on all those dresses. Then he lie down on that. Then in the half lying he smoked. There's nothing. The same type of shit. Then on another side, then on his belly he lied down. Then on his back he lied down. And every time he was smoking, and stood up, threw everything and said, mind, this is called smoking from the gold hookah, the hubble bubble. the silver hookah, he said. So when we are experiencing, immediately we have to understand also the futility of this experience. Otherwise, every time when you go on experiencing and develop more and more and more, and one day we will die unhappy, a miserable person. So what is the goal? Goal is to be happy. Why we should be happy? Because happiness is our nature. We are born out of the happiness. So our goal is not to become a doctor or an engineer or a professor or a great scientist or the administrator. Our goal is to be happy. The one person now is very unhappy. In the whole world, he is the unhappiest person. What to do? He got everything, but dissatisfied. So because of the dissatisfaction, he can never enjoy the period of time, all that, oh, I was there and I am happy. This is enough. I have experienced it. No. So this is the teaching, yatha balakasya betala mrityu pajyanta dukkada. And as we are imagining, the children are imagining, and then they are suffering. Similarly, asat eva sat akaram. The ignorant person considering this world as real, he is suffering. Vasistha Dev giving more example. I am not quoting those verses from the Sanskrit. It is 2nd chapter, 16th verse. Yoga Vasistha Shara. Yoga Vasistha is a big book. I am repeating because some people go on asking. I am not finding this verse. Yoga Vasistha is a very big book. 32,000 verses. Yoga Vasistha Shara, composed by Dhireshananda ji, Swami Dhireshananda, as a Swami of the Belur Math Ramakrishna Mission. He read that book and took out all the philosophical verses and he composed that. We are reading the Sara, but sometimes I am going to the original. Now it is from the Sara, 2nd chapter, 16 and 17 verses. He says, suppose a person does not know what is gold. If that person finds a gold bangle, it will be only bangle for him, because he doesn't know what is gold. Wonderful example. Suppose you do not know, then there is nothing for you. The Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna gives another example. And if you read the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, there are so many examples to explain this thing in a very simple way. There was a very costly stone lying at the side of a pond. The villagers never knew what is this. And they used to clean their feet rubbing on that stone. And what happened? One day, one jeweler was passing through that. He went and he saw that stone. Oh my God, he thought to himself, it's so costly, so costly. I can make a fortune out of this. Then they told the villagers, can I take this? Oh yes, you can take. There's nothing like that over there. We are only cleaning our feet. Oh, I will make a nice another stone for you to clean your feet. I am taking this one. The villagers never knew that is so costly. So that is the way it goes. Costly means that is, we think that is costly, otherwise nothing. Suppose you do not know, that there is no problem. So this is the way that he says, and the 16th verse, he is having a gold, the bangle made of gold. As because he was not aware of the gold, it is only a bangle. Suppose we know in that way in this world, that this world is nothing but Brahman. It will be the world for us only. If you knew the gold, so it is so costly, I have to keep it properly. And like that, we are living over here and we do not know that this is nothing but the Brahman, the consciousness, which never changes, which is eternal, and the source of bliss, source of joy. And I am made of that. I am living in that. Why should I suffer? This world and the Creator, this is the only problem in the whole. Any philosophy you go, the philosophy of the Kant or Hegel or the Vedanta or Vasistha Advaita, wherever you go, the discussion only centered in two things: the Creator and the creation. The Creator is the God, Creator is the Brahman, Creator is the Atman, Creator is the Self, like that it says. And the world out of that Creator. So now here we are walking from the path of the knowledge, that is Vedanta. And Vedanta is giving us this example that suppose you know that this is a golden bangle, how you will behave. So similarly, if you know this world is nothing but Brahman, how you will behave? The Brahman is all pervading, is all consciousness. And will you then go for some little thing and cry if you can't get that? So this is the teaching. Similarly, a person who is Parama Artha Drik or Parama Artha Drik, Drik Drishya Viveka, that Drik, Parama Artha Drik, unable of seeing the absolute truth, will find this world as city, building, trees, mountain, like that. This is nothing but the consciousness, but he doesn't know, as that person was not aware of the gold. The same way we have to understand that we are that Brahman. And we are absolute. No question of suffering. And who is suffering? Why? So this is the way the Vedantin they teach. Kim rodasi sake, tui sarva shakti. Why you are crying, my son, crying, my friend? Kim rodasi sake, tui sarva shakti. You are the one who is having all power. You are the master. You can do anything, anytime. Just say that. So this goes on like this. Unable of seeing the absolute truth, will find this world as city, building, etc. Instead of Brahman, the eternal, all-pervading consciousness. The world exists because of consciousness. In deep sleep, no world. A dead body doesn't feel the world because of the consciousness. Otherwise, how can we feel? So this is the argument of the Vedantin. They say there must be some substratum on which this is reflecting. If there is no substratum, how this thing will come? It is not possible. You are observing an object. An object must be on something. Otherwise, how can you see this? You cannot. So this is the way I and my object, and also there must be something for which I can see the object. Suppose in a dark room, someone is very dark, pitch dark, and someone is so close, standing before me, I won't be able to see. I am there, my eyes are there, I like to see, but I won't be because there is no light. So some condition is necessary. That similarly, when we are observing this world and it is changing constantly, when it is changing, how it is possible for me to understand that this is changing? It is going on changing, so I must be there and observing like this. Then only I will understand. So the person who has observed that, he can say, friend, don't take it seriously because it goes on changing. Again, go back to Sri Ramakrishna for the example that he was telling that there was one person came and told, I went to that under that tree, I saw that there is a lizard type of thing is there, and its color is fully gold, golden hue, wonderful. Next man told, oh no, you are making a mistake. It is completely red. I saw the same lizard. Then another told, no, why do you talk like that? I went over there a few days before, I saw that it is green. So it goes on, they were arguing, then a person came and told, sir, I live under the tree. I know that lizard, and that is constantly changing the color. All of you are correct, but it is going on changing the color. In this world also, everything is changing. And how we are understanding that? There must be something permanent, like the man who was sitting under the tree, who knew everything, all the changes. Some permanent thing should be there. And what is that permanent? It is Brahman. It is consciousness. So we are imagining thing on what? Brahman. Now stop imagining, what you will find. So we are thinking that it is a bangle. But then, if you are thinking that this is gold, then it will be gold. There will be no bangle. Maybe the shape will be like that, but it is gold. So Brahman is like that. The world exists because of the consciousness. If the consciousness is not there, nothing can exist. World can be said to be both real and unreal. Now, they are going to give us some the way how to understand. It is real because reality, the consciousness, which is its own reality, so it is real. The real because of the reality of consciousness. If I am not seeing this, it is not to me. So some person can see these or hear something, but another person standing over there can't see or can't hear because maybe defect in the eyes or in the ear. It may be. So naturally, from different point of view, it is the consciousness that is giving us the idea of all this. Unreal because the world is constantly changing. It is not independent. If it is independent, it will never ever change. Now this table, maybe after some time, it will naturally, it is old, and we will throw it in the, and then it will be, once again it will go and merge in the mud and water and all that. This table, the table form, the wood will never be there. It can never change if it is real. Something which is real will never change. So this is the idea. As because the world is changing, it is not real. And why we see that? Because of our consciousness, and this, from that consciousness we are thinking. Now we have to change our thinking process. The truth, the consciousness is eternal, and that is the reason. Anything which is changing cannot be eternal. And when that is not eternal, from the Vedantic point of view, it is not truth. So if we go for those which are changing constantly, so obviously we will suffer. So that is the main idea. Now Rishi Vasistha explained this again through another story. And the story name is Akasha Ja. Ja means as a born out of space. Akasha, space, born out of space. Akasha Ja. There was a holy man. He used to meditate all the time. And slowly, many years passed, and the officer from the Yoma Loka came and told, "Sir, it is time that you should come with me. That means you should die." But he was meditating. This officer could not approach him. It is impossible to go so close to him, so near to him, wondering who is it that is not obeying the command of death? Everybody is dying. Anyone is born is surely to die. How come this person, whose name was Akasha Ja, is a born of space? Ja means birth. Ja, the Akasha Ja, is not at all aware about the death, and the death cannot hold him. So the officer went back to the Yoma and told, "Sir, why this?" Then the Yoma said, "We don't kill anyone. They die because of their karma phala." Yoma, he is telling his officer that you must know that we are not killing anyone. Don't go and say that it is time for you to die. No. How you will know that it is time? You have to go and check his karma phala. And if you see that the work that he has done and the result is now that he has to die, then you can say, well, it is time for you. Go and find whether he is having any karma phala. Officer went back. Akasha Ja was not having any karma phala, any result of work. He was eternally pure. And why the karma, why the action comes? Because of desire. When the desire is there, I like to eat this, so I go, I purchase, then I eat. So if the desire is not there, no action. All actions before that, when you start before that, there is a desire. There is a planning. This man was not having anything. Naturally, the officer, he was thinking then what to do. He went back to Yama again and reported to him, no, he is not having any karma phala. Then the Yama said, he is not born. So how you think that he will die? This is Akasha Ja, he has not taken birth at all. He is eternal. So through this story, this our Rishi is telling Sri Rama that this is the world that you see, it is your own creation. And this creation, if you think that this temporary thing as permanent, then you suffer. Whoever will think in that way. And if you think the temporary thing as temporary, there is no problem. You can just, this way you can go. So this is the way he is thinking, Akasha Ja. We think we are born. We have body. Our world and ends up thinking we die. We create in this way. I am born, I have the body, and this is my family, and this is my world, this is my society, and one day I die. These changes I see because I want to see. When there is no desire, there is no karma. When there is no karma, there is no action and no result. When no result is there, you are there eternally. And what is that eternal thing? Is the consciousness. So this is the way we have to understand. We are really pure consciousness. Then what is this world? A throbbing arose in the Creator, and that thought spread out as the universe. It says like this, a throbbing that arose, and that spread it. The Vedanta also says that there is a creation. How the creation? And different philosophies say that it is the creation. Philosophy means the three questions you have to answer. Who is the creator? What is the creation? What is the relation between the creator and the creation? So these are the three questions and they have to answer. Vedanta They say, as if there was a thought arose in the mind of the creator, who is the consciousness, the Brahman. As if. It's like ekam bahushyamabihi. I am alone, I like to be many. Ekaham bahushyamabihi. Here in the Yoga Vasistha it says there was a throbbing, and the throbbing that created by the creator spread it out, and as if a universe was created. This throb made only of thought. This throb made only of thought. Hence, beings are only appearance, as we see in our dream. And that when we are thinking, different bodies are coming in our dream. And the dream is like this. So today morning, jokingly, I was asking one young boy, what dream you have seen in your last sleep. He couldn't imagine. I told, no, imagine and then write down what is the dream. The dream means our imagination. And in that imagination, I think it is real. I am conversing, I am hearing sound, I see, I smell, I taste, I feel fear, I feel joy, as if real, as if. And our experience says, when we get up from the sleep, there is nothing. So the Vedantins say that creation that you see now, it is like that. Who created? The creator, the Brahman, the consciousness, as if. Why? Because of the thought. As we create our dream world, so he also as if thought. And what is this world then? Thought only. It is not real. Once again, as the dream is not real, for us, this world is not real for the creator. And for us, of course it is not real. Because we are made of that thought. And we are consciousness. So this is says, this throb made only of thought, hence beings are only appearance. This appearance is imagined to be real, as we, while dreaming, we accept the object of the dream as real. Be in the world but not of the world, then one can enjoy the world. Then it's suppose we are in the dream, we are enjoying the dream sometimes. And in the dream sometimes you can feel, oh, I am dreaming. So at that time, if your mind is there alert, I am dreaming, you enjoy the dream. You are not affected by the suffering or enjoyment, whatever. You are not affected by any desire. So that way, if we can survive. Now the Rishi, and today we will conclude over here, the Rishi says, this is the 18th verse of the 2nd chapter, O Rama, Agyasya Dukkha Aghamayam, Gasya Anandamayam Jagat, Andam Bhuvana Andasya, Prakashantu Sachakshushaha. For every one sentence, immediately an example. To explain to the ignorant, Agyasya, Agya, Ga, Agya. Ga means knowledge, Agya, not ignorant. So for the ignorant, the world is full of suffering. Dukkham agha mayam. Full of suffering. Dukkham agha mayam. But to the knower of truth, Gyasya, the world is full of bliss. Anandamayam Jagat. Example is giving to a blind person, Andam, the world is dark. Bhuvanam, Andam. For the blind, the whole world is nothing but the darkness. But to a man of sight, sachakshushaha, it is effulgent. So this is the difference. Now, sometimes some schools of Buddhism, they say the Jagat Dukkhamay, the whole world, the world is full of suffering. That's correct. But to whom? So that is also another question. But here the Vedanta says, particularly the Vasistha, he says, if you understand this, that this world is made of the Brahman, you can enjoy it. So that's why he says, Jnasya, those who are the man of knowledge, Anandamayam Jagat, the full of joy. Oh, so many things are happening. There's nothing, as we see in the movies. In the movies we are watching and we are enjoying. So many things are going on happening. As because we are not affected and we are very much aware that this is nothing but a movie, all imaginative, and the person is suffering inside the jungle, nobody is there. And when we are children, we used to think it is true and used to say, what will happen to that man? Then the grown-up, our guardians used to say, who is taking the photograph? The man is moving in the jungle, he is all alone and he is suffering, but who took the photograph? He is with him. So don't worry. So like that, when some people are always there, they are taking the photograph, it's a movie. So we are also like that. Friends, this is the Vedantic outlook. The creation is like this. And different outlooks are there. Like the Dvaitin, they will say God has created this universe and we are all made of God. Now the God wants that we should go back to God, and for that there are some things are there that's called religion. Some do's and don'ts are there. Do this type of thing, don't do that type of thing, and by that way you prepare your mind, and one day you can go near to God. Salukka, Sarupa, Sayujya, all this in the dualistic point of view. Vedantic point of view, well, you can go and merge in that consciousness. The moment you will know that this is nothing but the consciousness, you become the consciousness yourself, so you go and merge into that. So these are the mainly two the ways one get. And why we should know this? To go beyond suffering. If you are not knowing this, every time we come, we will be suffering only. Whether you believe it or not, whether you like it or not. Oh, this is not scientifically proved, so we are not accepting. It is up to you. But this is going on, happening, and it's going to happen. Why? Because the cause and effect. This goes on doing like this, and this is our mind. So let us conclude. The wise knows that Brahman, which is consciousness, is only exist, and Brahman is bliss. But the ignorant imagine duality on Brahman and suffer. Ajnascha dukkha, agascha anandamayam jagat. Why the ajnascha suffering? Because they take it as a real and they suffer. But the God, the man of knowledge, they take it that this is very, very temporary and things are going to change. In reality, this is all Brahman, and Brahman is bliss. Then in our next class, we will discuss about the Brahman. The Rishi Vasistha will tell us what is Brahman. Thank you.
The first question is from Sanghita Banerjee. She is asking how we should avoid worldly attachments in this life.
That's a very good question. You know that problem is attachment. If you are living, it's no problem. The problem, together we are living. The husband, wife, children, the brother, sister, parents, family, all this together we are living, no problem. Problem is when we get attached to that. The attachment is the only problem. And how to go out of it? then if we can constantly go on thinking that this is so temporary and it is going to change, any time, any moment it can change, we do not know. So I was hearing yesterday someone was telling, one sister and a brother, they have gone to the college, completed their higher grade education and in the school, and they joined the freshmen in the colleges. The mother suddenly, they found that very advanced cancer, and almost in no time she passed away. It was a terrible shock for this. Then the father somehow were collecting everything, and the three, they wanted to survive. One day the father came back. Hardly a week or 10 days at the passing of the mother, after that, the father came back from the office and he was not feeling well. He told that I am not going to take the dinner. They ate a fruit and lie down and never came up because of massive heart attack. Now what will happen to these two boys? There's two children, the sister and the brother. So this is, any time anything can happen, whether we like it or not, anything can happen. So if we go on thinking that everything is so temporary, we won't be affected by this. This is the only way. Thank you.
The next question is from Sagnik. He's asking why my mind is bounded. I create my mind, I create imagination. So who has created me? The Lord is free. So why my mind is bounded or so much attached to the objects?
A little that that your question, you have tried well to formulate that if the Lord is free, then how can I be bound? That will be the specific question, I think, Shagnik. So it will be, the Lord is completely free and I am also free. But the thing is, I am in this form and doing all this because of my karma. When the first that we started, each and every being, even an ant, it was having a karma. So in this birth it is an ant. And that is the belief of the Hindus. And I am a human being because of my past karma. And how to prove that? I was born in a family, my father and mother, we were 2-3 brothers of same parentage, same schooling, same environment growing up. Why then we are different? One brother is thinking in this way, another brother is thinking in this way, a third brother thought in that way. Why? Because when they reach to their 16 or 18 years old, their own karma started activating. This is the way we can understand. So suddenly everything gets changes. So our birth because of our karma phala. Now Sagnik, our only idea should be to understand this. We can go beyond our karma phala by practicing that I am completely free from any action and I don't have any desire for any object of this world. And that is called tapasya in Sanskrit, austerity. I have to constantly go on taking out any desire coming, immediately throw it out. No, I don't want. Like that only you can go beyond this, and then we will realize, as the other rishis they realized, that I am also the Brahman.
So Sagnik is asking very similar questions, 2 more questions. He says, does karma exist? If yes, how do we make believe to karma? Second, related, how to be free from suffering? All from Sagnik.
But I think I have given you the answer. The karma, the Hindu and the Buddhist, they believe the karma is there, and otherwise you cannot explain the why so many things are happening. That the effect, without any action, effect cannot come. Suddenly there are some waves. suddenly. No, there is a wind, strong wind passing, that's why the waves. So there must be some action, and because of the action, the result. So we are the result of our past actions, the karma. And if it is a good karma, of course the result will be good. So that is 3 types of karmas are there. All these details we have already discussed in other lectures. But karma is there, and the karma phala, we have to go beyond that by withdrawing our mind from the desire, from the sense objects.
The next question also on karma, Srima Vishwas, she is asking, what is God's wish? What is karma phala? How are we going on the right way? Question mark.
And how now? Are we going on the right way, right?
How are we going on the right way? Yes, are we correct?
Are we? So this is, we are going on the right way because when we are studying the scripture, all the scriptures, dualist or the monist, all the scriptures, the Vedanta are every time telling that it is only our desire that binds. We are also reading over here today. The karma is there, as just now I gave the answer. The karma is there. The karma phala is also there. Karma means action. The action means reaction is also there. And without that, how to go beyond? By constantly thinking that everything that we see is nothing but temporary. So I should not spend all my energy to grab this, to have this, and should not feel miserable if I don't get it. Constantly discrimination, vichara, abhyasena tu kaunteya, vairagyena chagriyate. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, go on practicing all the time, and renouncing all the time. Now that I am aged, things will change. The day will come when I don't need all this. So why so much of clothing, so much of shoes, so much of this and that? Let me distribute it. Let me be free, because I am going to die. And if I, while living, distribute it, it is good. And when I die, people will come and grab it and take it, whether I like it or not. So this is called discrimination, and I distribute and make myself free and wait for the call of the death. And when the death comes, as the Rabindranath said in Bengali, Maranare tuhu mama shyama shaman. Oh death, you are just beloved like my God. I am not afraid of you. So that is called preparation, and we are going in the right directions.
The next question is from Chaitali Mishra. She is saying, when something unacceptable things happen, how we will be stable?
That is, Chaitali, is a very practical question. So we are discussing all that this is this and that. But theory one thing, practical is another thing. So for that, one should be very, very intelligently we have to handle. That's why Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said, Jar sange jamon tar sange tamon. So you have to handle, you have to behave according to the person you are handling. And jokhon jamon tokhon tamon, according to the situation. Jekhane jamon shekhane tamon, according also the space, the place. So that is the way one should be very practical. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna gave the wonderful the stories, the many stories are there. Let me tell you one. The Guru said that God is present in every being. All they heard. Then these brahmacharyans, the disciples, they went to the forest to collect the faggots. And suddenly they heard that someone is shouting, the elephant is mad, it is coming in this way, go away, hide and save your life. All others, they fled from there. Only one brahmachari told, no, Guru told that each and every being is having the God within. This mad elephant is also having the God within. Why should I be afraid of the God? Let it come. and the elephant came. It is good luck. It didn't kill, but it just threw him, so he was seriously injured. So they took him back to the ashrama, and then slowly he came back to consciousness. And the Guruji asked him, "My dear son, why you have not fled from there? Everybody saved their life. Why you were standing on the particular place where that elephant was coming? But you said, sir, that every being is God." Well, I said, elephant is God, of course. But the person sitting on its neck was shouting, "Go away, the elephant is mad and I cannot control it." Why you didn't listen to that God? So this is, one should be very practical. So this is a theory, and now you have to understand in which situation you are, and from there only you have to act accordingly. We are monks. We don't have any bondages. We are not under control of anyone. So obviously our behavior, our way of dealings are completely different. Not that we are arrogant, but we are unattached. But in the family you cannot do like that. When your son is not eating, "Oh, I am unattached," let the son go like that. And the little child doesn't know when to eat and when to sleep. And if you are not taking care, he will suffer. No, you cannot do that. So obviously you have understood that according to the condition and the situation you do. And something when it is very, very unacceptable, it is better to avoid that place and the person as best as possible. Thank you. Let us say 3 times the Shanti Shanti and we conclude. 3 times. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat.